sore.
So from what?
Working out.
Oh, working out. Well, these last few days have been pretty exciting for you. You've been traveling all around with Courtney. I mean, pretty exciting, I guess. I mean, I suppose you're used to that PR type of deal, but it seemed pretty fun for you guys.
Yeah, we always, there's a lot of time on the road, you know. It's kind of unique, though. The St. Louis, the Gateway deal was special in the sense that, like, we don't really, there's only a few racetracks that we go to that are alike. And so we don't get a lot of opportunities to go promote a race like that at the same location. And so Gateway, the only time we've done it before was Sonoma, like, geez, we were like first dating, so 5 years ago or something. So this was kind of unique, but the Gateway guys, they always do an amazing job, and, you know, adding Courtney to it always adds a lot. You know, she's a special personality, and obviously very, you know, a beautiful girl who's won, you know, a lot, so she adds a great element to everything that we do. And you know, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. What's your guys' communication like? I mean, to me, it's always fascinating when, like, Ricky Stenhouse and Danica had the thing in NASCAR, but you guys are in two different sports. And when it comes to the communication, how much do you guys really see each other?
Well, I would say it's a lot right here, and I'm trying to pull it up. But it's like right now, as we're talking, let's see if this will work. But like right now, you know, she's about to run as we speak in Brainerd. So, you know, typically I spend a lot of time, you know, trying to watch, you know, as best as I can right here. I know they just had some delay, but, you know, unfortunately the NHRA All Access doesn't work great. It freezes up constantly.
Right.
But this is me, you know. I try to just catch her as frequently as I can and see how she's doing. And, you know, when we're at home, or at the end of the day, so home being a hotel, that's how sad it is that I kind of refer to a hotel as home. But, you know, then we'll FaceTime or whatever, but it requires a lot of effort. I mean, there's no doubt this is not a normal, smooth, simple relationship, but it's life. We've gotten used to it over the last handful of years and keep going.
So she's getting used to it as well. Does she really check in on you, you know, through social? Yeah.
We've been very fortunate in our sport with Verizon, because Verizon with the app, it makes it so easy. NBC Sports, obviously going to NBC full-time is going to help because everybody will be able to see everything on their app all the time. We're pretty lucky that there's really good coverage, so she can definitely see a lot.
What have you been learning about, because as I said, two completely different sports, and you're very close to NHRA. You've become a lot closer these last 5 years. So what have you really learned on what separates motorsports? That a lot of people who don't follow, they put them in the same group.
Well, I would say for sure NHRA and IndyCar is like apples and oranges to the maximum extent. One's a sprint, one's a marathon. One's all about being super refined, and the other one, you know, in NHRA, you got to be refined, but you'll see those guys using big rubber mallets and everything else. I mean, we don't even have that in our toolboxes here. So they are very different, but equally challenging in different ways. The engineering aspect of both is important. The driving aspect of both is important. But it is interesting from an insider. There's very little that you can actually compare and say there's a team, you know, that is the same, other than it's a team and we drive race cars and we go to win. That's about it.
Yeah. Any interest in you going over to her side, her coming over to this side?
No. There's no interest. I mean, you know, I love what I do. We're here in Pocono. Pocono's a very, they call it the tricky triangle, so it just makes you want to use the word tricky all the time. But you know, turn 1, 2, 3, there's such different challenges. You know, I'm just not a straight liner. I mean, it's not my, and I don't say that in any other term than, you know, I just didn't grow up around it. I mean, I enjoy it. I love watching her. I just, it's not my thing. So I'll certainly stick to what I do.
Yeah, and coming here to Pocono, your results have been kind of here and there, you know, back and forth. You had a couple DNFs for a couple years there. Is it mostly bad luck, or is it really a tough track for you?
We haven't been great here. Actually, you know, in recent years we have. But the first couple years, no. I mean, you know, we weren't very good here. We came here in 2013. Didn't do well at all. 2014, we didn't finish. 2015, we actually were really good here. We had a bad pit stop, put us in the back, and we ended up getting hit by Vautier. Made a bonsai move up the inside of Justin Wilson and I at the time, and ended up clipping me in the left rear after going through the grass.
Yeah.
And took us out. So, but we were actually really strong that day. 2016, average. And last year we were actually very good. We led for a while. We were up front most of the day. We had one scenario where I got passed, I want to say, into turn 3 late. Canan dove inside me in 3, and I had to really check up, and I lost all my momentum. I got passed by 2 guys on the front straight on that lap, and then I got passed by somebody else going into 2, and that set us back so much. You know, we lost all our momentum that lap. That lap alone, I lost like 4 spots, and that was it. You know, we finished right there. So what could have been a really great day didn't end up so great.
Yeah, and your oval racing hasn't been that bad this year. I've been seeing, you've been top 10ing them to death pretty much on all tracks, but ovals, it seemed to be a little bit more consistent. Do you feel that's where the opportunities lie, in tracks like this?
For sure here, I feel like it's a good opportunity. As a team, we've worked very hard to make sure that we've improved, doing more aero testing. We did not come test here, so that is one thing that might get us. But, we've dedicated a lot of time since Indy, since Texas, the other super speedways, to a place like this. Fingers crossed it all works out. I mean, as I look at the remainder of the schedule, our best chance to get a win, I wouldn't say necessarily from a historical perspective is here, but we should have a good shot here. So we'll just see how it all plays out.
How far away is that next step for the team?
I think realistically the next step for the team is next year. I hope that we can find something at the end of this year. But I think realistically, when we go down and we look at all the areas that we feel like we need to improve, we're really only 5 weeks from the end of the season. We have 4 races in that 5-week span. Not a lot of time to get stuff done now. So I think, we kind of need the off season to get prepared for next spring.
Was the aero kit kind of a shot in the leg for the team? Because statistically, I'll look at this season compared to the last 3. For you personally, you won races these last 3 years, but this year it's kind of seemed to be dipping. Is it because of the aero kit, or is it maybe something else?
I don't know if it's the aero kit or I think adding the second car has hurt us a little bit. Not hurt us as a team, but it changed the flow of what we were used to, and so that definitely has an effect. That it took a little while to adjust to. I would say that's part of it. I think that the new car was a bit of a challenge. I think there were areas in the new car that we didn't pay enough attention to early on that other teams somehow caught on to immediately that really hurt us probably at Indy. And but yeah, from a chassis perspective, we haven't been great this year. There's no secret. We haven't been great. We finished second at St. Pete, but we weren't great at St. Pete. Yeah. We were average. We've kind of been average everywhere. We've had more top 10s than anybody but Dixon, but we can't seem to, just take that next step. So, we'll see. I know everybody's working hard. We're all going to keep our heads down, keep focused, see how it all plays out.
You've been through worse, and
no, it's a good year. I mean, I can't. Is it a great year? No, I'm used to winning. I couldn't say that 4 years ago, but the last few years we've been used to winning at least a couple races a year. So to not do that is disappointing, so far. But hopefully we can get that out of the way.
Do all those years of going without a victory, do you feel like you handle adversity better now than you did before that winless streak?
I'd say no. I definitely handle adversity, I think, decently well. But I expect to win, and so it's tough. When you don't win, and you see guys like Newgarden or Pagano, guys I respect a lot, but guys I know I can beat. It's hard, you want to be out there, you want to be winning.
Yeah. What has Takuma really brought to this team? You said, perhaps one of the issues was bringing on a second car, but I mean, he's been here for a long time now. He almost has 9 years experience.
And when I say issues, it's just adjusting to having that second element. But Takuma brings a lot of experience, a lot of expertise, a lot of speed, and a lot of places extremely fast. He brings a lot to the program, and I hope that continues going forward, and that we can just keep this program as it is and focus on the future and just improve.
Yeah. Do you think IndyCar's doing just a good job overall this season when it comes to building that excitement and keeping it going throughout the year?
I would say this: I believe in IndyCar. I believe in the people that we had, and I believe in what is said. I go to a lot of other races. I see stuff that comes out, announced sellouts or whatever that aren't sellouts. But with IndyCar, the facts are the facts, and there is growth. The crowds have been good. The sponsors are coming to the sport. I mean, it's not easy, but we have an easier job finding sponsors today than we did 3 years ago. I guarantee you, no other motorsport is going to tell you that, and we can see that as facts. You know, I mean, you can see it. You know, I mean, we've been very fortunate, and so we just got to keep our heads down. We got to find the right venues. We got to get another engine manufacturer in here. I think if we can get another OEM in here, we'll immediately take it to the next level. Going to NBC next year, NBC Sports, but getting 8 races on the main channel, that's huge for us. I mean, that is massive. So there's no doubt that's going to change the face of our sport.
Any ideas that you've had in the past that perhaps that you've gone to Mark Miles or somebody with, you know, trying to see, I mean, obviously you know a lot about this sport and you've been here for a long time. I'm sure you have a lot of ideas on how we can improve.
They hear from me more than they want to hear from me, probably. So
yeah.
I always throw stuff at them when something comes up. You know, I try my best.
You think international races, that was something that the sport had, you know, not too long ago. Now we really just have Canada. Do you think that's one area that we can look at?
Yeah, I mean, Mexico would still be good. I mean, I'd love to go back to Europe. I'd love to go back to Japan, even if it was Motegi on the road course like we ran that last year. Motegi road course was a blast. I mean, I'd love to go back there. And, you know, Australia was always awesome. We need to go to another race in Canada. I mean, Canada with Hinch, with Robbie, you know, Canada is an area that could really grow for us. Those guys are still young. They could be here a long time. I think could be great growth in that area, so it'd be good.
Yeah, and though the international races aren't there, perhaps with a big announcement last week with Fernando Alonso quitting F1, and a lot of people have been pointing him our direction for 2019. I mean, do you think it was a huge success for the 500, of course? Do you think it would be a really good fit for someone like him in here?
I think it'd be great to have him. There's no doubt. But I will say this, you know, I mean, on behalf of guys like Scott Dixon, I mean, I don't want them to be overlooked.
Yeah.
You know, they're some of the best drivers in the world right here, and so, you know, they deserve their applause as well. But certainly Fernando's a big name. I really enjoyed Fernando. I didn't spend a lot of time with him, but every time I did, he was awesome. You know, so it'd be great to have him.
Now, if he comes over here and he finishes 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and Dixon and you guys are winning, that's going to make you guys look pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah, it would. It would. But I'd imagine if he's going to come here, he's going to come in really good equipment. I mean, the guy's not going to show up, you know, in a subpar team. So there's no doubt that he can compete. There's no doubt he'd probably win races. I fully would imagine that. But that's like everybody, you know, Rossi, Hunter-Reay, obviously Dixie. You've got the Penske boys, myself. A lot of guys win here. It's not like, you know, Formula One where there's 2 or 3. You know, there's a wide variety that so he would. I no doubt he's going to win. You know, if he comes here. But yeah, I mean, it'd be great to have him.
And I spoke to Marco yesterday. The sport doesn't need him, you know, but he would certainly. We feel he would elevate the series, and perhaps that Alonso effect that they talked about at May. Perhaps that would last the whole season, maybe even longer.
It could. But I think, you know, if you're looking at the future of the sport, we also have to just focus on younger guys. You know, and building up that next crop of talent as well. So you got to be careful in the fine line of what does Fernando do for us today versus what can a Colton Herta or somebody like that do for us 10 years from now. So we always got to balance that fine line.
Yeah. Do you follow the road to Indy pretty closely with Indy Lights and those guys coming up?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, there's a lot of young, you know, good talent. It's sad to see Mazda's, you know, departure because I think it's worked well for them. But hopefully IndyCar will be able to find somebody else to step in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely appreciate your time.
Yeah, no worries.
Awesome thoughts. Yeah.
Anytime.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.